ASMR Nation. I am going to chew some Trident Peppermint and tell you what I have been watching on TV and a little bit of what I've been watching on YouTube. But first, let's do some light housekeeping. If you're new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back, OG. Oh, I got my I Love ASMR shirt on that my teenager got me a few years ago. Okay. If you're new here, please consider helping the channel grow by hitting subscribe. If you're old here, double check, make sure you are subscribed. Hit the like if you like. Leave a comment of anything. It can be what you're watching now. It can be if you've seen any of these things, if you're interested in any of these things. It can just be a hello. Anything as long as it's friendly. And as always, I will link my tip jars in the description. Absolutely no pressure, but anything does help. Okay. So, Snowfall. It's in its final season. So, I don't want to spoil too much if you haven't seen it or if you're not caught up. Snowfall is loosely based on actual events, kind of, if you know much about the CIA's involvement in sales and pushing it onto the streets, which is all admitted now. It's not a conspiracy theory. There are people that were working back then that admitted what happened. So, it's kind of interesting that, if people were to say that back then, they'd be like, oh no, the government wouldn't do that, and how we still say that about some stuff today. And I know some of it's so over the top, but yeah, they would do it. So it's loosely based on, the late 80s, when this was going on. This season in particular is mostly about Franklin, which is the main character of the show. He had brought in, his family to make money with him, to get involved in these deals. And inevitably, you mix your business with your family, things are going to go bonkers at some point. Somebody's going to feel wronged. Somebody's going to feel taken advantage of. Somebody's going to feel owed. Somebody's going to feel whatever. So this season is mostly about Franklin and his uncle, kind of rivalry. Franklin and his uncle and his Aunt Louie. So that is on Hulu. You do have to watch it week to week, but right now there's, I think, 3 episodes out because it comes in from another network. So Hulu picks it up after it airs on its original network. I have been seeing the main character Franklin in a lot of magazines. He's been like modeling now, so I'm interested to see if he picks up a new show or if he starts modeling a lot more. I don't know. He is actually from like England, I believe, which is crazy because on the show he's from LA and you really cannot hear his accent. you hear a little something, but it's not like an accent, you know? Oh, well. Okay. And then for like a week, I was like living, breathing, eating, sleeping the Murdaugh case. Murdaugh. The name is weird. Because it's like Alex, Alex, but he's like, no, it's Alec. So, and then the last name is like Murtaugh. It looks like it would be like Murdaugh. But it's like said 10 different ways. Murdaugh. I don't know. I'm still very weirded out by that case. Like, I started watching that case shortly after it made headlines for his immediate family passing, which I do think he's guilty of that. But there was 2 cases prior to that his family was involved in. Probably way more than 2, but like 2 big incidents that his family was tied to. One was the housekeeper, and another was somebody that possibly was dating his son. We don't really know, like it's hearsay. Was found in the street, deceased. So those 2 things happened, and then his wife and his son, one of his sons, were found deceased at his dog kennels. I do think that he's guilty, but I think that a jury deliberating for 45 minutes is a little insulting. I don't know if it does justice to, even if you all go in there and say, oh, he's fully cooked, he did it, shouldn't there be still some discussion? Like, yeah, I think so too, but why do you think so? Like, let's all talk about why we think yes, just in case anything, you know. I know that's a hard job, and I can't imagine being in those people's shoes, but 45 minutes, I don't know. I really liked that judge, and I liked how the judge said at the end, like, look, you guys, to the jury, you can go out and you are not obligated to talk to anybody about this case unless you want to, and you're free to do so. However, if somebody tries to intimidate you into talking about this case, let me know and I will handle it. So I liked how the judge said that. Now here's what I want to know. The amounts of money that he had pissed away were more than somebody can personally use to get their fix. Like, I have to be careful what I say on YouTube because certain words will trigger, whatever, but you can only spend so much at your lowest of lows. Him saying that he spent it all to get his fix doesn't make any sense. This is beyond that. So I'm wondering if they will give us more information. Like, are they gonna try to find out what was really going on with his money? What he was connected to, possibly? Or is it all gonna get shut down because there are names just as big as his involved? There are names bigger than his name involved? I don't know. It kind of drives me crazy that we may never know. Okay. The next show that we watched, we binged kind of, we watched it in a few days, was season of Outer Banks. If I'm being honest, like, I got to a point in the second season where I said, now I understand that the show is supposed to be about treasure hunting. So I know it's like out there, but there were so many parts in the second season that I was like, yeah, right. It was just too far-fetched. Like, you're not going to just hitch a ride to South America in general, and end up in the right place and end up running into people that you knew from here, like in the jungle. Like, none of this, it's just too out there for me. Like, I can respect the fact that it's young adult, and it is like I'm thinking like the Goonies, like treasure hunting. But even the Goonies was more believable. I don't know. That's where I'm at with Outer Banks. Like, and then when Kiara gets sent to a wilderness camp, like a wilderness juvenile detention type center. It's called Kitty Hawk. Now it's this camp where you're not allowed to have visitors. Like I said, it's like a juvie type wilderness camp. But her boyfriend just shows up in his van at the gates and is like, "Oh yeah, I'm here to bring donuts to my sister that works here." And they're like, "Oh, okay, go on through." Like, huh? You gotta be kidding me. I don't know. So, I don't know that I'll watch a season 3. I really don't. Okay. And last but definitely not least is Boardwalk Empire. It's on HBO. This is probably my 5th time watching it. I still have never watched the final season because what I would do is every season that it would come out, I'd rewatch them all to the season that we were at, and then I'd finally watch, season 2, 3, 4. So I've never totally finished the show. I just could not bring myself to finish the show because I liked it so much. I didn't want to say goodbye. Boardwalk Empire is to me what Sopranos is to a lot of other people. Steve Buscemi is the man. Like, I have 2 celebrities that I like put up on this pedestal, and it's Danny Trejo and Steve Buscemi. And Steve's usually doing his like little quirky bits, and he's a goofball, right? But him as like this politician in Boardwalk Empire, this like morally gray, like, you love him and kind of understand why he's doing what he does all the time, but he's also a piece of shit. So my fiance had never seen Boardwalk Empire, so he's watching it for the first time. And when you love a show and you're like watching it with somebody that's watching it for the first time, it gives you like a whole new like lens to watch it, and I still like, when I watched the first episode 1, season 1, we finished the first episode and it was like an extended episode, so it was like a long episode, and I was like, oh my god, in my head, everything that happened in that episode, in my head, that had been like the whole first season. So much happened in the first episode. I didn't remember all that happening right out of the gate. So it takes place around like Prohibition time, and it's probably a pretty accurate account of how corrupt the these state officials were, saying they were like pro-prohibition, but really they were using it as an opportunity to bootleg and sell their own at a markup. You know, they'd have all these underground bars. All the funds were going straight up to the top, you know. They probably put like family bars under, and then the government just took everything. You know, they were still drinking when they were voting, and they were like taking a stand against alcohol, but they were actually still drinking themselves and having their own clubs and making their own money on it. And so Steve Buscemi he plays a character named Enoch Nucky Thompson. And there's also a tie. So he's a politician, so he's got like these deals going on, and some of these deals involve Chicago, New York, because they're in Jersey. New York, they involve the Italians, the Irish, gangsters. So that one of the groups that he gets involved with has a character that is Al Capone. And it really makes Al Capone look like a total freaking idiot slaves. Like, not what I had in my head as Al Capone. But who really knows, right? It's a good show. Like, I highly recommend it. It's up there. So I will finally watch all the seasons, including the last season. And then I'll probably give it another 5-10 years before I watch it again. So, alright, that's where I'm at. I've also rewatched some of the Magic Mikes because I used to have a huge crush on Channing Tatum. He's not up there like with my pedestal guys, like my Danny Trejo and Steve Buscemi, but I used to have a big crush on him, like a schoolgirl type crush. So I've been watching. I went and seen the movie a few days after it came out. We saw it for Galentine's Day. And so I rewatched. I think HBO has one of the Magic Mikes, and I think Netflix has the other one. I don't know, but they're just fun. They're just fun movies.